South Africa in the early 20th century was a land of two realities. For the white minority, it was a land of prosperity, vast farmlands, and modern cities. For the black majority, it was a land of oppression, displacement, and humiliation. Apartheid, meaning apartness in Afrikaans, was formally institutionalized in 1948 when the National Party seized power. Laws were put in place to strip black South Africans of their citizenship, ban interracial relationships, and force entire communities into segregated townships. The African National Congress, ANC, and other resistance movements had fought against racial injustice long before apartheid became law, but now the system was backed by the full weight of the government. From the 1950s, opposition to apartheid grew louder. Peaceful protests were met with brutal crackdowns. The ANC, the Pan-Africanist Congress, PIC, and other groups organized strikes, boycotts, and demonstrations. In 1952, the Defiance Campaign saw thousands arrested for deliberately disobeying apartheid laws. In 1955, activists gathered in Kliptown to adopt the Freedom Charter, a vision of a non-racial South Africa. But the government responded with more repression, branding activists as communists and traitors. Despite the risks, the fight for freedom could not be silenced. March 21, 1960, a day that would haunt South Africa forever. In the township of Sharpeville, thousands of unarmed black South Africans gathered outside a police station to protest the passed laws, which required them to carry identification at all times. Tension filled the air. Suddenly, gunfire erupted. South African police fired into the crowd, killing 69 people, including women and children. More than 180 were injured. The world was horrified, but instead of reforming, the government declared a state of emergency, banning the ANC and PAC. Resistance was forced underground. As peaceful protests became impossible, some activists turned to sabotage. The ANC's military wing, Umkhonto we Sizwe, Spear of the Nation, launched attacks on government buildings. In 1962, Nelson Mandela, the movement's most prominent leader, was arrested. At his trial in 1964, he stood before the court and delivered his famous words, "I have walked a long road to freedom. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society. It is an ideal for which I am prepared to die." He was sentenced to life in prison on Robben Island, a desolate prison off the coast of Cape Town. His imprisonment would become a symbol of the struggle. On June 16, 1976, the children of Soweto took to the streets. The government had introduced a law forcing schools to teach in Afrikaans.